back to our channel. If you're new to our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and you turn on your post notifications to stay tuned to our family adventures. What does family mean, Crystal?
Channel plus family
equals family, and I made that up and nobody can take it from me, so I have it tattooed on me right here, so it's literally mine. So guys, I put a poll on my Instagram for you guys to ask us a bunch of questions about Neo's cochlear because we always get so many questions and we want to help so many people out there who are going through similar situations as us and don't really know about cochlear implants because we didn't, and we feel very knowledgeable now to give people some information about cochlear implants since we have been doing cochlear implants for a while now. So today's video is actually sponsored by Cochlear Americas, which is cool, which is Neo's cochlear implants that he has, like his brand. So going into our Q&A, one of the first questions was, what brand did you all go with? Cochlear Americas.
Yeah.
Nucleus 7 specifically.
So Neo's Cochlear are the Nucleus 7 processors, and the reason we chose Cochlear Americas is because we felt that they had one of the best customer services, and so far
it's lived up to the hype. Like literally every time we have a problem, Neo has had a couple times where like there's this plastic part on his cochlear that fell off or he bit off or something.
Yeah.
And they literally rapid changed it next day. There was batteries that didn't work. The processor fell in the water one time. It didn't work. We called. Next day they send us one.
We felt that it was one of the companies that met all the things we looked for, especially all the different accessories and the customer service. Like I said, it was...
Yeah, it's literally perfect. What words does he know? So Neo has had cochlear implants now for a year and 2 months at this point. They've been activated for a year and 2 months, and as you guys know, Neo was born completely deaf. He couldn't hear anything his whole life, so when he was 1, he wasn't even babbling or anything. So it's amazing that now he has over 30 words, and nothing makes our hearts happier to hear him say mama or dada. Like literally when he comes up to me, he's like dada. Like I'm like, in my brain I never thought this was gonna be possible.
It always
at first.
Yeah, like even when he says like mama or anything that he says, it's that feeling that you feel, because it really is amazing to hear him and how much he's progressed this past year since activation date. So I think that that's probably one of the really cool parts about him wearing his cochlear implants.
When will he be able to talk more? So every week Neo is learning new words. He is coming up with new things. Like now he's putting 2 words together.
Yeah.
He says upstairs, downstairs, more please, dada up.
Oh, today he said a beautiful more puff please, and everyone lost it because it was 3 words. I was like,
yeah, so he's getting there. Like it's really cool to watch him every week. And I tell his therapist, I'm like, it's just crazy to me that like 3-4 months ago he couldn't say any of this stuff, and now he's saying all of it.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing to see him grow. Does Neo get irritated by them? Neo, like at first they told us this might happen too. The magnet that goes on his head, there's different strengths to it. Like if you have thinner hair or thicker hair. So Neo has very thin hair, so at first it was like a little bit too strong of a strength magnet, and it was making his head a little bit irritated, his head a little bit red. But then we just lower the magnet, you just monitor it, and then you lower the strength of the magnet, and then now it's perfectly normal. Is Neo comfortable with those cochlear implants every single day? Neo,
yes.
As soon as he wakes up, he literally grabs his ears and he's like pointing at them like he wants them. Like that's literally the first, he doesn't move out of this room until he has cochlear implants on.
In fact, he'll probably get upset at us if we're taking too long.
Yeah.
At which point he'll go and try to go get them.
Yeah, he tries to get them himself, and he'll give, sometimes we leave them right on the nightstand and he'll reach them and just give them to you. He loves his cochlear implants. Is it for people with partial hearing to amplify their hearing, or people with total hearing loss? Hearing aids are more to amplify hearing because it's like a little like speaker basically in your ear, the hearing aids. These are for people that hearing aids are not strong enough to provide you access to sound. Cochlear implants basically send sound waves directly to your brain. Like no sound's actually going in Neo's ear. We originally started with hearing aids because you have to wear hearing aids to be a candidate for cochlear implants. So they have to prove the hearing aids are not strong enough to provide you with proper speech and hearing so that you can get cochlear implants. So basically we did try hearing aids, they weren't strong enough, so he still wasn't hearing with them. So that's why we got cochlear implants, where now he could hear fully 100%. Does he ever find noise overwhelming? Neo goes to daycare sometimes, and sometimes there's babies that are really crying and really upset in there and really loud. And we've noticed that when he's around like really loud crying babies, he doesn't like that noise. So he takes them off and he just needs a break, and he'll just take them off for like a couple minutes, and then someone will put them back on, and if the baby's not crying, he'll keep them on, no problem. But he really doesn't like screaming babies. Screaming crying babies. That's his thing. He doesn't like that.
Loud music he loves. Like we can blast music.
Yeah.
He'll dance. He likes like crowded places.
Yeah. It's just babies crying that he doesn't like. So that's the only thing that's overwhelming. Do you give Neo breaks throughout the day? My toddler pulls his off after an hour or so. We actually don't give Neo breaks. He doesn't need breaks.
We just follow his lead. Like
he doesn't want breaks really. He likes having them on. From what I've learned, something that really benefited us is that when he was a baby, even though the hearing aids were not working, we kept the hearing aids on him all the time since he was like 2 or 3 months old. He had hearing aids on all the way up until 1 year old. He literally had them until 1 year old and they didn't work. But we kept them on because they told us that if we keep him on, he'll more likely not want to throw his cochlears off all the time.
Yeah, I think it helped him get accustomed to constantly having something on his ear. And anytime that he does want like a quote unquote break is usually because something is causing him.
There's a crying baby
or something.
Hello, how does the cochlear implant stay on him? Are they magnetic? So cochlear implants are magnetic. So the actual, is it coil?
I think the best way you can explain it is that there's a receiver inside, which is at the bottom, and then there's the magnet on top, and then that's where we attach that coil.
Yeah, so the actual coil is magnetic, but the part in his head, it's not like a magnet. Like he's not gonna stick to a magnet wall. Like it doesn't attract to anything.
So the short answer is yes, they are magnetic. That's how they are able to stay on his head.
Does it need to charge or it has battery?
So the answer is both, but for everyday use we do use the rechargeable batteries, and from time to time if life gets busy, I like to carry the battery operated ones, which they're just like a little bit longer than the ones that he wears every day.
So we use these batteries that you could buy pretty much at any store, and they fit into like, it's the same size little thing that connects to his cochlear to have them. Yeah.
So you could do both, but we choose to use the rechargeable ones.
How do you clean/sterilize it?
So there's like a couple of things that we do on a daily basis. We put them in a humidifier to take out like any water or anything that may be caught up in the cochlear implants, and it just makes them last longer. That we do that every night. Then there's the cover that goes on the processor that gets changed every 3 months. So it's really minimal like maintenance, just like remembering to charge them and put them in the sterilizer so that they can have a long life.
And also we got these new brushes for the magnetic part. Like when we go to the beach, like there's little pieces of magnet that get stuck on it. So we take off the magnet and we brush it off all the little dirt magnetic pieces that are on there. So that's how we keep his cochlears clean. Did he get 2 implants in at one time? Yes, he got bilateral cochlear implant surgery. So that means he got both implants done at the same time in the same surgery. Because you could do one at a time, but the doctor recommended for us to do both of them at a time, because then you would have to do 2 separate surgeries, obviously. Can Neo hear when the magnet is taken off? Neo can't hear anything when the magnet is taken off. He is 100% deaf.
He's profoundly deaf without his cochlear implants. So that's why when you guys ask, oh, like why does he have to keep them all the time? When they come off, he is profoundly deaf and he cannot hear anything.
And that's when we start signing to him. Are those cochlears gonna stay forever, or he can hear normally without it as he grows? So you can't fix hearing loss. The cochlears are a tool so that he has access to hearing. So he's always gonna need to wear them to have access to hearing. If he chooses that he doesn't want to hear at all one day when he grows up, he could take them off and just live life that way. But they give him the access to hearing.
But the really cool thing is that this is a one-time surgery, because a lot of people get confused if you have to upgrade this or something. It's meant to last for the rest of his life. It grows with him. I think it's really cool. We just wanted to make sure that we provided as many resources as we could, and that's why we chose to go with the cochlear implant, because we felt that it would allow him to have access to sound and it would be up to him. And so far we've seen just like how happy he is to listen to music, and I think that that's a really cool thing that he has. Has
he started listening to all kinds of sounds? If yes, how much? I mean like 50 or 60%. He has 100% access to sound right now, so he can hear literally everything. I mean, that's basically the answer to the question. He has full access to sound, hear everything that we could. Are those waterproof? His cochlear implants are water resistant but not waterproof, but they do come with an aqua kit. So cool. The Aqua
cool boy
Kit
stuff.
is really cool. It's kind of like a case for the implant.
He still has access to sound, but he can go swimming, he can be in the water, he can get wet.
Yeah, he has nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about, and he still has access to sound, which is, I think, the really cool thing.
It's not really about the cochlears, but did it change your view on how you see some things in life?
100%. I think that one of the most beautiful things about being a parent is that you would do anything for your child to give them the best life that you can possibly give them. And when we were going through the process of figuring out whether Neo was going to be a candidate to receive a cochlear implant, there was a lot of anxiety because we didn't know what to expect. And I think that any parent going through a similar journey as we are, you have a lot of questions and there's a lot to process, and it really shifts the way that you view your everyday living. I know, at least like for us it did. Super grateful that we live in a country where we have access to these resources and that we were able to provide Neo with the opportunity to have that option. So I think that it definitely made our family closer. It helped us recognize ways that we could communicate better, and I think that it made us be more present. You just get caught off guard, but in the same way you learn something new. And I think that that's what Neo's journey has showed us, that it's never too late to pick up something new and that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm grateful for that.
When is the right age for a cochlear implant? From what the doctors tell us, the earlier the better. So there are some kids that get cochlear implants, I've heard, as soon as 6 months. But the FDA, as of today, the FDA approved babies to get cochlear implants as early as 10 months here. As you guys know, we tried to get it for Neo at 10 months. He had cochlear implant surgery scheduled for 10 months. We went into the hospital and he had gotten super sick. So they postponed it 2 months later for his first birthday, basically 2 days before his first birthday, that he got cochlear implants. So just the earlier the better, they say. Where has his learning reached? Like, is he equal hearing age to his physical age?
Well, this question ties into our last question. So Neo is technically a 2-year-old with hearing age of a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
So he expresses himself as that of a 1-year-old. So the reason why it's so important, or they advise parents to get cochlear implants earlier than later, it's because he's trying to catch up to his peers, and so he only has about a year's worth of catching up in his speech and language development. Whereas, like, if he would have gotten implanted when he was 4, he would have
4 years.
4 years of training.
He would be 4 years behind in hearing age. So basically, we're trying to close that gap so that hopefully when he's 3, his hearing age could also catch up to that of a 3-year-old, and he could, you know, be graduated from therapy. Okay, so this is actually a question that I picked this question because it's something I've always been worried about. Are you worried about classmates stealing Neo's cochlears in the future? I actually am worried about this because it's just like, I don't know, kids could be kids. And I remember when I was a kid, I wore glasses. So kids would take my glasses and run away with them and I couldn't see. So I could just imagine it happening, and it, like, so sad. Actually, like, but
we also do teach Neo to not let people touch them. So
yeah,
it's happened before at the park or at the playground. Some kid will try to come and just take it because, I mean, it looks like a toy or something. And so I think that us, like, teaching him to tell people to not touch them or to not take them off, I think that it will prevent for them. But
and he has a very defensive sister.
I was just gonna say, also,
so Abella's gonna be
Abella
on top of anybody who tries to touch him.
Abella literally schools anyone, and she'll like explain to them why they can't touch them. She'll go as far as saying, like, when they come off, like, he can't hear you, so you can't take those off.
I think he's in good hands.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
What if he lost them? What if he lost them? That is a daily fear of mine.
Every
if he
day.
loses them. But the good thing is we have this Nucleus smart app that works with Cochlear Americas, and basically you could track when you lose it. So it notifies your phone or my Apple Watch whenever, like, the magnet comes off of his head. It notifies you that the processor is off Neo's head. So that means you have to go find it wherever he is before it's late.
And it's really cool. Like, the app makes it super easy because it will tell you, like, if you are close to the cochlear. It's basically like playing like a hot or cold. How do you explain that?
Like, it has like a little tracker thing that it has 2 bars for left and right. So if you have the right one on it, like, the bar will be all the way up. But like, if the left one's far away, it'll be lower, and as you get closer, the bar goes up. So basically that's how we have to find it. We have to, like, look for it as the bars are going all the way up.
Which I think it's really helpful because it's helped us find his
it a lot of
cochlears
time.
a lot of times. Like he sometimes will take it off and just play around and see what it can stick to.
Yeah.
And
or put it in a cabinet or a fridge and we just gotta find it. But another cool thing about the app is that we could directly stream from devices that have Bluetooth. It's funny because like sometimes we're in the restaurant or something, he'll be watching his iPad and like it looks like he's watching it with no sound, but it's actually streaming straight to his cochlears and no one else could hear it except for him. So I think it's like a really cool thing, especially as he gets older. He could listen to music in his cochlears. Like the possibilities are endless. Like it's so cool. Like I'm actually jealous of him for that. Like I think it's so cool that anytime he could literally listen to anything on his cochlears. Yeah, so basically that is all the questions we had today. If you guys have any more questions that you would like to know, please leave them in the comment section below and we will try to answer as many as possible. We hope that our message and Neo's story lets everybody know who's going through a similar situation as us that there is light at the end of the tunnel and everything will be okay. Alright guys, so that is it for today, Camp Fam. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The shout out of the day today goes to
Fierce Snakey.
Fierce Snakey. Shout out to you, Fierce Snakey. If you want to be like Fierce Snakey and get a shout out from us, all you gotta do is subscribe to our channel, ring that notification bell, and comment down below. Like right next to all those other questions that people are asking. So that is it for today, Camp Fam. We love y'all and we'll see you later, fam. Peace.